Folks, Fernando doing a video for more survivalists. So yeah, the United States has lost downtown Seattle to Antifa. I don't know, there's a lot more to say than that, it's just the way it is. So Antifa has control of like 6-7 blocks downtown Seattle. They've created barricades, wall around the new state of Chaz. They have armed patrols. Now, this may sound like a joke for some. It's really not, because they've taken over a police department. They kicked the police out of there. The mayor has basically like recognized them like some kind of like a city-state, very Babylonic in nature, I guess. Now, the poor people of former United States, now known as Chaz, that are living in the new city-state, they have to pay like a fee or whatever it is to the overlords. They have like a warlord of some kind, like your Commander Rambo of Blood Diamonds. So yes, this is what's happening in the United States. Now, the United States was used to be known for going into countries where people are oppressed and liberating them. I think it would be a good idea to liberate the people of Chaz. Just a thought, make sure they have democratically elected leaders instead of warlords, that sort of thing. I think it's something, and it's kind of like around the corner. It should be a pretty simple operation. Just a thought. And I don't even know what to say. I mean, because this is not a joke. This is what's actually happening. If you take over a police department, if you take over several city blocks of a major United States city, then the joke is kind of over. You already did that. You're taking cities pretty much like ISIS takes cities during war. So for a lot of people that said, well, if that ever happened, we would all go up in arms. Well, where are people, the people going up in arms and fighting the good fight against the Antifa that is now in control of the city? I don't see that all that much. What I'm seeing is people that go into it. Well, if they did this here, like in your house, yeah, I would suppose that most of us, that would be kind of the last stand. But what I notice mostly is people with this mentality, oh, they can have Seattle, they can have LA, they can have New York. When you start giving away parts of your country like that, you'll eventually end up with nothing. You'll end up with your little county or your little chunk of land of whatever it's left of it, and that's kind of like game over. So it's a pretty interesting development. It's a pretty concerning development as well. It's just indications of how rapidly events are unfolding and the new reality that you'll have to deal with. How is it that you're going to be driving around a place like that? Do you have to go through a checkpoint? If you have to go through a Antifa territory, so you'll have a roadblock, you'll have a Black Lives Matter or whatever guy with an AR, and he's going to be checking your papers to make sure you're allowed to go through their land, territory, or whatever it's called. It is surreal. It's surreal that it's happening. It's surreal that it's not getting a government response for it. You would think that a police department invaded by what's pretty much terrorists would have a pretty rapid resolution. Now, I was just seeing on TV, the chief of police was just saying that she basically gave up. The mayor also says, yeah, we're okay with this, and let's make it like a summer of peace. So they're planning on having Chaz go strong for quite some time. Folks, you have to prepare. If you haven't done so already, if you've been caught up with more of the bushcrafting stuff, which is fantastic, more of the wilderness survival stuff, which is great, collecting berries, starting fires with a couple of sticks, improvising shelters in nature, that sort of thing, that's all great. I've never done that. I've never done that in terms of like professionally. My work is this. This is my work. Another book that I have over there, Bugging Out and Relocating, which is also kind of relevant to what's happening right now. So I mostly focus, first of all, on economic collapse survival, which is what I went through in Argentina, my first book, which is this one, and is the kind of thing that a lot of people are still very much interested in. Of course, given current times, it is likely to be something that's going to be affecting you. Now, I don't just want to show a book and say, yeah, go buy my book. Sure, if you're interested in my channel, go and buy it. But the kind of thing that I explain here is relevant in terms of when the economy sucks, when unemployment goes through the roof, how you have to respond to that, how you have to become more creative in the way you earn money from different sources. You have to be more hungry, you have to be a lot more creative and resourceful, because you just don't have much of a choice when that happens. Now, the economic aspect has a consequence that's very much this, which is my last book, 3 Survival Skills, or what I'm promoting mostly, but it's also the one that's more relevant to what's happening right now, because this sort of thing, the economic crisis, has a consequence on the street, on your way of life, that is very similar to what you're seeing now. So this is very likely just going to be getting worse, not really better. The economy is not going to be doing any great. The social political aspect is not going to be doing very good. How is this going to unfold? I mean, for people that are just counting on Trump winning the election, and man, I've always been very critical of Trump. These last few months, I've been a lot more supportive about many of the things that he says and does, because in a world of crazy, even a guy that I don't relate all that much, or that I don't find a lot of common ground, and unless, at the very least, he's not insane like these far left radicals that just want to burn anything. So you find support with a guy that you formerly didn't agree all that much in. I was very critical with the bump stock ban. You saw my videos. So at this moment, your only hope is basically Trump. And you're thinking of the re-election. But at the same time, Trump is president right now, and this is still going on. So even if he ends up winning, this is kind of it. Of course, it could get a lot worse with Joe Biden winning, which is a man that is not, I don't mean this in a humor kind of, he's not in his faculties. The man has, he gets lost in his own thoughts at times, and he's just not right. I think they had like a half a dozen better candidates from the Democrats that were a lot more respectable and serious. That, the Tulsi Gabbard chick, she was someone that at least could have a conversation, sure, quite a bit more on the left-leaning side of things, but at least she was a person that could actually speak and have a line of thought. Joe Biden is not a man that is in control of much of himself. He should be maybe looked after for his own well-being. He doesn't seem really in all that well. So, a little bit of luck, Trump wins, but Trump is already president. So what is it exactly that's going to be happening? And then at the same time, you have, how is the left going to be reacting to Trump winning? I also have this fear that what the Republicans are, and you guys let me know in the comments section, as always, respectfully. Anyone that behaves like a jerk, I'll just get rid of it and that's it. But let me know in the comment section what you think. I think the Republicans are playing a pretty dangerous game in terms of let it burn so as to win the election. Let's show the people how crazy these folks are on the left, and that way we're going to be winning. Now, I don't think that's a very dangerous game. If that's it, that's a very dangerous game they're playing, because there's been the case of other countries in which they play with that and they ended up losing because they underestimated how crazy people actually were. Right now, with this happening, the kind of support it's getting from the mainstream media, even from the average people, from the police department, from the politicians, it is just crazy that Chaz is even a thing. And it is a thing. It is very much there. There's armed people patrolling it and forming a government within the United States. And nothing is being done about it. Folks, prepare for this sort of thing, because the level of violence you're going to be seeing, it is something you have to prepare for. A lot of people are not ready for that sort of thing. Self-defense, awareness, defensive driving, home defense, security, all those things, which is a lot of what Street Survival Skills is about. this is stuff that you need as of right now, right? And it's likely to spread. You'll see little things like these, or having lived so many years with roadblocks, with protests, it is very disrupting in terms of how dangerous it can be, on how even when nothing bad ends up happening, but how it complicates life for you on a daily basis. These are all things that you kind of have to be ready for, and it goes into some of the smallest little details of your preparedness, which is not something that a lot of people have taken into account. Most of the prepper community in the United States is focused mostly on other things that are not really what they're seeing right now. It's you're seeing things that just a few weeks ago, you see guys that used to have their compact, concealed carry gun. Now I don't need a compact gun. I need a Glock 17, not a 26. That little sort of thing of, yes, I need a serious fire. It's not just going to be, if I'm attacked by a huge mob, just 5, 6, 7 rounds, 8 rounds, it's not going to be cutting it. I'll carry those 15, 17 rounds in the magazine. That makes more sense. The body armor that not that long ago people thought was crazy, that I've been talking about since the start of this. This is stuff that I've talked about even in my first book almost, over 10 years ago. This is something that people, damn it, things are pretty dangerous. If I get carjacked, if I'm moving through these more dangerous parts, then it makes sense to have concealable body armor. It just makes sense. So it goes into lots of these things. And folks, the channel is packed full of information over the years. Just use the search function in the channel Motor Survivalist. You will find videos addressing pretty much all sorts of topics. It is very relatable what you see right now in the United States to what I saw for years after 2001, when the economy went to hell and pretty much the country went to hell. It is very relatable, and the themes are very, very similar. It's also similar that you have a far left anarchic madness type of thing. This little thing that folks don't quite understand. For example, when they say get rid of the police, they're not saying get rid of the police. They're saying we want to be the police. I mean, the guy with the Antifa outfit and the gun, he wants to be the police. That is super dangerous, all right? But you have to understand all these little differences in terms of what they're saying and what they're actually trying to do. I just posted on my Facebook and Instagram. It's Fairfile308 if you want to follow me there. Look at all the religions. This is something there's a guy, an academic that is very clever and very smart about this stuff. Look how the Antifa, Black Lives Movement, which is called kind of like a muddy mess. It's almost kind of all the same thing. It's almost like a religion. They're bowing down, they're repeating the same sentences. Everyone has to say the same thing, because if not, they're traitors to the cause. Bend the knee, surrender to us. The washing of the feet, that's kind of downright ridiculous, but that is the thing that the Pope does in terms of surrendering to the poor. Is very symbolic. Now you have it being done as an Antifa thing, the washing of the feet. It is just crazy, but it's happening. It's happening, and I hope you guys are ready. And if not, man, this is definitely time to get busy. See you on the next video, folks. Have an awesome day. I'll be having a live stream. Before I forget, I always forget the last. I'll be doing a live stream with Cliff from the Urban Prepper. So look it up, and it's going to be 10 a.m. is it? Right. Look it up at the Urban Prepper. You'll see the live stream already there. And catch it if you can. See you all then there. Have an awesome day.